welcome to Money, 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 your weekly personal finance date with me, SURABHI UPADHYAY. Now, the equity market is close to all-time highs. Most market experts feel that the India story is quite robust. And every wealth manager will tell you that you don't have to worry about timing the market as long as you invest systematically over the long term. So this week's episode of Money, Money, Money focuses on finding the right mutual funds for your portfolio. With me in the studios here in Mumbai is HEMANT of WISEINVEST Advisors, and SRIKANTH of FundsIndia.com joins us from Chennai. Gentlemen, great to have you on the show. Thanks so much for taking out the time. Now, before I get started, let me toss the first question to you, Srikanth. I mean, how do you sort of deal with queries that come your way saying now market is at such a high point, almost back at all-time highs? Should I deploy more money or not? What's your sense?
The way we counsel our customers is to always advocate diversification and balance their portfolio. Just yesterday, for example, I was reviewing portfolios that were submitted to me for portfolio reviews, and both these portfolios put together by investors themselves had 70 to 80% allocation in small and mid-cap funds. And that is what is happening in the market, in the investor mindsets right now, and that is what we are trying to move investors away from and try to have more diversified and more balanced portfolios so that, you know, their portfolios can withstand shocks and volatility in the market. So that's the job right now for advisors like us is to counsel prudence to our investors and help them have a more balanced approach in their investments.
So, Mr. Rustagi, same question to you. What's your view right now looking at the way the market's moved higher? And more importantly, the question, if someone's going to be deploying more money at this point, should it only be through the SIP route? Can you still do a lump sum right now? How do you evaluate the market at the moment?
Well, you know, as far as the markets are concerned, the fact that the market has been doing well is definitely a good news for the investor. I mean, why do investors invest in equity fund is because they want to make returns. So while the returns are being made, okay, they need to be a little cautious in terms of what exactly are they doing. So what we always advocate is that you should follow asset allocation model. Now what it means really is that you define your goals. So you have short-term, medium-term, long-term goals, and you align all your asset classes and investment to those goals. Now, if you not really have to bother much about the markets, whether the markets are going up or down, because every time the market goes up, okay, you see a portfolio going up, but your fresh investments are going at a higher level. When the market goes down, maybe what you see is a part of your portfolio obviously not showing the kind of return it was showing, but your fresh investments are going at a lower level. So what you require is choose your asset class based on your time horizon and goal. Okay,
fair point. Well, what we've done is we've asked both our experts to list out their top 5 funds. And these are funds that different individuals can look at because they come with different risk profiles. 3 are primarily equity funds. They will also advise us on 1 balanced fund or 1 hybrid fund, basically, which is a mix of debt and equity, and 1 pure debt fund. So it's the top 5 list from both of our experts. I'll start off with the equity category. Srikanth, you go first.
So our large cap pick is Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity Fund. This fund is a pure play large cap fund, and it has delivered consistent performance across market phases, and it has beaten its peers both in volatile market conditions as well as in rallying market conditions. So Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity is a large cap pick. This fund has returned around 15% year to date, and 3-year returns has been around 11-12% CAGR at this point of time.
Okay, all right, Mr. Rustagi, then your large cap equity fund pick.
Well, the fund that I'm recommending in this category is not a pure large cap fund, but it has a bias towards the large cap. It's a multi-cap fund. It has some exposure to mid-cap stocks. So while it takes a concentrated bet on the sector, it gives you diversification at the stock level. The fund has been a very consistent performer. It has a good portfolio. And I believe that someone who's looking to build his core portfolio at this point in time, you know, this Kotak-led focus should be a part. Right. And the reason why I like this fund is, one, you know, the benefit of going in a multi-cap fund is you allow the fund manager to make changes in the portfolio. What I like about this fund in terms of investment strategy is that it takes a concentrated bet in terms of sector. It basically looks at 4 or 5 sectors where it takes a good exposure, especially those sectors which are likely to do well than the broader market going forward. But it is not that investors are compromising in terms of diversification. It's fairly diversified in terms of number of stock. it has around 40-45 stocks at all point in time.
So what have average returns look like? And again, what would be the other multi-cap funds which would be peers? And then, you know, I'm assuming this is outperforming the peers in that stretch.
It has. But it's not only that you're looking at, you know, outperformance at all time, because no fund can actually, you know, afford to give you that. But what we are looking at clearly is if you compare the performance, you know, with the peer group, consistently it has done, it's always in the top quartile. Okay. So which I think is more important. And there are many other funds in that category. We have frankly Prima Plus, and there are a couple of other Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity. There are different funds in that category.
And what sort of returns can one expect?
But, you know, again, you need to look at if the markets are up by 10%. I mean, generally what I've seen from this fund is given you 3 to 4% more on an average. So, which I think it has been able to do frequently.
All right, we need to take a break on that note, but we've just gotten started. We have to discuss 2 more equity fund categories that hopefully add a little bit of that alpha to your portfolio. And of course, talk about some hybrid funds as well as a pure debt fund. This is the mutual fund special. Don't go away.